Cam, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, dude, I pulled up your Instagram and it immediately caught my attention. So you sold basically 5 companies for $100 million. Let's get right into it, dude.
It's been a crazy ride, man. We started in 2010. I've never worked for anyone. I recruited, we were talking about Moxie Pest Control, and my buddy Dusty, who got me into the industry, was working for Moxie, and it was like my first time introduced after the mission into the door-to-door world. And so I got to meet Jason, I got to meet Mike Fleming, and these guys were just like legends in my mind. And that was the first time that I understood there's actually money in pest control. And so we started Green Mango in 2010, 2016, like.
So you never went out and actually sold first.
No, I was like your worst nightmare for a rep, like right before summer. I'm like, dude, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this. I'm out. But we recruited a bunch of guys to go work in California. And so I don't know, started a detailing company that summer. Dusty, my business partner, went out to California, worked with Jason and them, came back after that summer and just like, dude, let's do this ourselves. And so we started a pest control company, 1 truck, and just started knocking doors, man. It's crazy.
Wow. And so, I mean, you know, one of the things that Mike actually is the one that taught me this, Fleming, he would always say the beauty of the pest control industry is you have built-in buyers. These companies are waiting for you to acquire you if you build it correctly.
Right.
And so that's a huge advantage for somebody that's, you know, if you're building a company, knowing that you can have an exit whenever you build it.
Yeah, like it helps you just have a lot of peace of mind with raising money, which obviously you know a ton about, and then just knowing like, hey, there's always an exit model, which is good and bad, right? So like 3 years in, it's like, dude, I don't know how we can make money at this business. Like, let's try and fire sell it. And at the time, we didn't run it correctly. No one would take it. Like literally, I would have sold it for $200,000, which is how much I owed my dad for investing. No one took it. And so we had no choice but to double down on the business. And luckily we did.
So what did you do different than other people? How did you get it to this point where you were able to have this giant exit?
You know, I believe when people start a business, right, they have this idea, hey, I'm going to do this differently, I'm going to do that differently. And then when they get 1 year, 2 years down the road, they understand that margins are tight. And then they start to sacrifice those little things that made a difference. Dusty and I, we decided, we had a premium service. And so we didn't stray from what we felt was the best thing. And so like average service times, the amount of product that we put on the home, the type of technicians that we bring out, like all the elementary school answers of like how to run a successful business, we stayed true to that. Like a lot of people in the pest control industry run like 18, 19 stops a day. We'd run 12 to 13 stops. And when you're paying someone an hourly wage and they only do 12 stops in a day versus 18, and it's the same amount of time, like that's the difference between being profitable and not. And luckily we just like chose to stay on this path. And what was so cool, and you know, as we look back on all of our marketing and everything that we did, our customer referrals would outperform any radio contract, any billboard, Google ad, almost 2 to 1. And that's how we were like super successful in Arizona, is because like our people loved our service because they knew that it was a premium service. And that's what was so cool about it. So we stayed true to like our principles from the very beginning.
Well, I think that's important because, you know, I know like, if I'm paying a couple $100 for whatever, a pest guy to come spray and he's gone in like 12 minutes. I'm like, what just happened?
That's what the industry
I
is.
know.
Yeah.
And most people, you know, I've talked to enough people in that industry. I've had on, you know, the founders of pretty much all the big companies. And, you know, and you start to see like, well, yeah, like it can be very tempting to sacrifice the quality just because the quantity, and it's so easy to go get new customers because you're just knocking doors. And for a lot of guys, that's easier than going on appointments for referrals and everything else. And so a lot of people probably don't even care if they fulfill essentially the part of it that they're selling.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's crazy. And so when I start, and you know, when I'm consulting companies now, it's, hey, what was your idea from the very beginning that you felt like would make a difference? And how much have you changed from it? You always need to change, right? Business is evolving, but it's like, what are your core principles? Like go back to those and you'll have a great customer service base. But what's cool too is like, not only will they last longer, but when you go to upsell them other products, like they're going to buy more. And so your average ticket for that consumer is going to increase. So
yeah, it's when I built my coaching program, We Are the They, because we're about 95% referral.
So sick.
I got my original group 100% off of my own Instagram. We ran no ads, no affiliates or anything. And then from there, it's really been a referral ever since, or people just reaching out. And I've tried to run some ads and things like this. Funny, they actually haven't worked. The ads,
Really?
yeah, because it's hard to explain to people what it is. But when you just take care of people and like the product speaks for itself, we have a 95% retention rate from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah.
And so guys are, I had a dude just yesterday, he goes, bro, when does the new group open up? I got 3 new guys that they got to join this, and he's not getting paid to do that. It's just 100%. He knows it'll change their life. And so I've kind of built my business the same way. And the temptation is to try to go bigger and do more and all these things, but I've never wanted to sacrifice the product. And so like for me, them getting the experience they're expecting is the most important thing. And the only time I've ran into problems is when the guys, like I did an event in Arizona recently, and I just switched up a few things. I didn't try to go cheap. I just switched it. And I had problems because it wasn't
from what, like your core idea was,
one of the things I switched was, so we do this thing called the Masogi Challenge, and it's basically one day that's so difficult that every other day is easy in comparison.
Yeah.
And I had this company used to come and do it, but the guy that runs that company owes me some money. So I didn't feel like he was in integrity, to come do it. So the guy that used to work for him, I hired him to come do it because that guy ran it and he was the dude that was really the boots on the ground. Well, he ends up canceling on me. And so I was like, okay, so I had my brother-in-law was going to do it, who was a Marine. And basically I need somebody to yell at the guys and to push them, right? That's the whole role. Like anybody can do it. But 2 days before the event, his brother killed himself. And so he's out. So instead of scrambling and finding another person, I was like, I think I can run it. The problem is I have a different relationship with the guys. And so it just was a little bit choppy. It was a little bit screwy. And so they didn't get quite the experience they were hoping to get. And then the other thing is we all usually stay in one Airbnb. And they love that because it's the camaraderie and you're all there together. And that particular event, I was trying to geographically put us in a better location because Arizona is actually weird with Airbnbs. They don't really have the big ones where you can put 50
how
people.
many people?
Yeah, 50 guys. So you need 50 beds. It's not like I'm going to have them share beds. And so it's just hard to find Airbnbs. In Phoenix, I'd always get 2 or 3 Airbnbs. This one, I got them 3 Airbnbs, but they were like, dude, we really like being together. And so there was just a couple things I switched. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to, but I've learned, I'm like, okay, there's an expectation. And I had to take the feedback and just do better. And because I was like, okay, like, you know what? They're right. I shouldn't have been the one running that. In my mind, I could do it, but I had to learn that lesson. Yeah. But I am obsessed with creating a product that's going to deliver every single time. And so that's the experience they're expecting. And I was glad they had that high of an expectation because I have delivered over and over.
That's your brand, that's your product.
Yeah, and I joined so many other masterminds that the first 1 or 2 are awesome, and then they kind of trail off, get progressively a little bit worse. And I just never wanted that to be my experience. And so, same thing, man. I'm just obsessed with making sure that whatever I promise is going to get delivered the right way.
I love that. No, I've got sucked, not like sucked in because I enjoy it, into like the consulting world. And so I started the 1% Club, which is a group of people, because one-on-one coaching is just not scalable. And especially like that was a big part of me selling, is that I wanted to just have freedom to go do whatever I wanted to. And when you have these one-on-one clients, like you're now locked down again. And so I thought, I want to help people, and I want to give back, and I want to consult them because I truly enjoy doing that. When someone texts you and is like, hey dude, implementing this one thing helped me save $100,000 to $500,000, like that's addicting. Like, and you love helping. And so I'm kind of like going down this road of consulting with the 1% group. There's like 43 people in the group right now, and it's a once a month call, and it's about business principles that I learned. So I'm writing a book right now, and this co-author came in, and he just dove into my life, like came, interviewed my friends, my managers, my business partners, read through like all my journals, all my coaching notes. And he's like, dude, there's 9 business principles that like define you and who you are. And so I've used that as my platform to like train, okay, once a month, I'm going to touch on one of these business principles on a Zoom call. And so it's $299 a month. And I just threw that number out there because I'm like, okay, the people that I've helped consult in the past, and I just do it for free because I want to help people, like they just don't take it seriously.
Yeah, if you're not paying for it, you don't value it. And
it's just like, so I'm like, okay, what's a number where it's like, it's not too much, but like people like take it seriously. And so I don't know, I just throw out $299, and it's been cool. I've only been doing it for 3 months now, and it's just been a fun, like, so like your group of what you're doing, I can only imagine like how I don't know how enlightening it is for you and how much fulfillment you get from doing that.
That's the best. I mean, you just saw, one of the guys that's filming when we're done, he happens to be here right now. He met Dakota, who runs my studio, who met Brett that brought you here. They all met at my group.
That's what I mean,
they're all
dude.
close homies now, right? It's just the ripple effect of bringing good people together that are all going the same direction. It really is like the most rewarding. I just got my hair cut, and he's like, hey, I actually played as a sub on the soccer team with a bunch of your guys. They put together a soccer league. And he was, like 9 dudes that did not know each other a couple of years ago. They play weekly soccer together and everything else. And so everybody, just the amount of connection and community that you can build. Like for me, that's what I say I am more than anything. I'm not a coach. I'm not a guy that you even want to model your life after, if I'm being honest, but I am really good at bringing good people together and helping them connect on the deepest level. That's what I focus on.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Like it's like, these 9 business principles are great, but that's what I'm trying to help entrepreneurs see. And it feels like my target demographic is like a $3 to $15 million company that I'm attracting right now. And a lot of those people are so in the hustle and bustle that when they get invited to an event at night, like they're so burnt out from wearing all the hats that they just don't want to go. And that was me for a while. But what I'm trying to help these guys understand is like, dude, your network is everything. And so if you can surround yourself with other people who are up to great things, like they'll motivate you to want to be and do better. And so that's what, when I look at your group and what you're doing, like, I love it, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I spent my entire 20s and early 30s. I would go out 5 or 6 times a week to network. And I always just thought, everyone just thought I was the most social guy in the world, this total extrovert. Yeah. And the truth is now that I don't have to do it, I never go out. Like it wasn't my natural behavior. I do like being by myself. I like having a smaller circle, but I knew that was how I was going to build my real estate business. And so I just did it. And so what I did with the group is like, I've built in this system where, and this is what I tell people, it's like, even within my program, there's 2 different price ranges. There's like the beginning one, right, that you can pay a couple $100 a month. And then there's the one that's the leadership group.
Okay.
And I say, if you join the leadership group, it's all done for you. All you have to do is show up and I will literally take care of the rest. You're going to connect. You're going to make great connections. You're going to build your network. You're going to grow. Whereas the other one, it's like you have to do it all yourself. Like I'll still create the container for you, the blueprint of it. But you're going to have to do all the work. And so that's the difference. But you're right. It's like the value of building that network. I always tell people, if you work your ass off in your 20s, you're set up for the rest of your life. You are. You'll be ahead of everyone else. Doors will open up for you that only opened up because you were hustling in your 20s. Because no one cares if you're successful or wealthy in your 30s or 40s. It's like you should be. But if you do it in your 20s, it's like, damn, I want to be around this guy. I want to, learn from this person. And so you'll just blow doors open for you. But if you squander your 20s, you're playing catch up financially the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm so lucky that I didn't know what I was doing, dude. We just started working. I'm so happy that I put my head down and like literally, I remember one of my good buddies is Rob Horn, and we knocked doors for the first 6 years of Green Mango. Didn't take any money, just kept putting it back in the company. But I'll never forget, like he invited me over to an NBA's finals, and it was like the first night in 6 years I didn't knock doors at. Like I took off and came home at 7 o'clock to watch a finals, and it was just like so weird,
I feel like a sinner. Like,
yeah, dude. I'm like
you're
what? No,
running out of Costco before they check your receipt.
But that's the thing, though, dude. It's like, man, just put your head down. And I have a little boy, and I can't. I'm already obviously teaching him as much as I can, but I can't wait to just show him, like, dude, just put your head down, like you're saying, network, and work hard for 10 years, and then pick your head up and like.
Well, let's say, people can hear your story and be like, wow, he sold his companies for $100 million. I want what he has. But it's like, dude, if I showed you what he did to get there, because you actually could do it. But you're not going to, you know what I mean? It's, your shirt says no one cares, work harder. It's like, it tells me everything I need to know, right? It's like, I say the same thing. It's like, you can work your way out of almost any problem you have. Yep. It's very rare the problem you can't really put your head down and work your way out of. I always say everybody's problems come from 2 things. They're not working hard enough, and they don't even know what it looks like a lot of times. They think they know how to work hard until they meet somebody that actually works hard. Yeah. And then the second one is you're probably avoiding a difficult conversation. If it's one of those 2 things, you're either avoiding doing the difficult thing or you're just not working hard enough. And when you get those 2 things dialed in, you have very few problems you can't push through pretty quick.
Yeah. That, I talk a lot about beliefs, and, it's beliefs in yourself, and it's controlling the voice inside your head, but also like it's the belief factor of the people around you. And it keeps going back to your network. I had a buddy text me yesterday. He's like, dude, like, I want to sell my companies for $1 billion. Like, I'm going to reach that, and I want you to be a part of it in some way. And it's like, I don't know very many guys that are talking about $1 billion exits. And it's just kind of like the league that, I don't want to say like, oh, I'm in now or anything like that, but it's like, I'm just around people that are talking about billions. I'm not around people talking about making $100,000 a year, and that's cool. But it's like, you just want to be around people that are just, walk the path that you want to walk. And that's the only reason why I've been successful. Is like, I'm the best copycat in the whole world. Like, I find people who have done it, who walked the path that I want to walk. And it's like, what are you doing? And the thing is, like, there's nothing special about that person. They just implement what they learn. Yeah, and that's it. Just implement it.
One of the gifts around being around super successful people or guys that have made just a shit ton of money is like, you learn, oh, they're not really that special. They just are really good and focused at working their ass off and grinding and doing the thing until it works.
Yep.
And they have this unconscionable belief in themselves, where they just have this unwavering belief that they're going to succeed, that they're going to win. And that's the thing that I've noticed with people that have had big exits or built big companies, is they just do have that mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm huge on daily mantras. Obviously ice baths, and it's truly been a game changer because, part of my story of the 5 companies, like 2 of them were pretty big failures, and for a while, like, that was really hard to talk about and admit, because it's like, no one wants to admit failure. But that messed me up mentally. I had a huge investor who invested with us in 2018, and he pulled out, and he was like, he's a big deal in Arizona. And at first when he came on, it was like, oh yeah, I got this guy as my investor. And then, when he pulls out, it's like, oh dude, I'm the guy that messed that up. And so as I created like my daily mantras of not only like who I want to become, but who I am today, and just reminded myself of that every single day. And for me, my sacred place is the ice bath. And so it's like, I get in, I do the ice bath, I say a prayer, I say my daily mantras, and then like, dude, I go take on the world. And reminding myself of that every single day has been like a huge game changer. Even coming out, in 2018, like, I was $4 million in debt. And it's like, that was, a couple of years ago. Like, it's nothing.
What are the daily mantras, and how do you, what's your routine for saying them?
Yeah. So, I've linked up with Casey Baugh, who obviously everyone knows in Utah. And, he helped me identify like the most important hats that I wear. And so obviously, like, husband, father, mentor, friend, I'm a pilot. I love flying. And so like, that's one of the things, my relationship with God, my family office, which is now all my finances. And so what I've done is I've identified these hats that I wear that are most important to me. And then in each of those hats, I memorize a saying that I love, like mentorship. One of the things I say is I have 14 years of business experience, and I can change people's life, both personally and financially. And like a friend, I hold people accountable. I want them to become the greatest version of themselves. I'm there for them. And, and so there's little things like that I just say, that again, just remind me of who I want to become, with God. Like, I'll let virtue garnish my thoughts unceasingly, so that my confidence can wax strong in the presence of God. I notice throughout the day when like I have a bad thought, or like I'm going wayward, it's like, dude, no, I committed to be this person, and that's who I want to be. And so I don't know. I'm a huge believer in that. And when you live an intentional life, like, that's the biggest change too. Everyone says, oh, I want to make $1 million a year. And then just say that, like, they don't break it down of how much you need to make a day to make $1 million over 12 months. If you want to be worth $100 million in 10 years from now, like, it's a simple math equation. And truthfully, what you have to do every single day, it's like, it's not too crazy. Like, and so you just need to show up and be intentional. And that's why, I've been like, Casey taught me the power of weekly planning, and like, that's been a game changer.
Without weekly planning.
I
don't understand what people do. Like, I have to sit down. Like, if I keep a calendar, I'm old school. Throw that over here, Dakota. So this is what we used to use on the mission, dude. This thing's
no way.
This blue calendar. Oh yeah, it's the only thing I've ever used that works. So I just plan my week on there, bro. And
really?
Yeah, I just plan everything on there, and I never miss. I haven't missed an appointment in 20 years, and I put all my big things on first. One thing that I used to do is feel like I had to fill up the whole thing. Now I like seeing blank spaces on here. I try to give myself more blank space. And I'm in that era of life, right? But I'm very adamant about not doing things I don't want to do. I had an experience today. I'm supposed to do a podcast today at 4, And it's funny because I don't do much that I don't want to do anymore. And I listened to a couple of the podcasts this person had done. And to be honest, I just was like, you know what? I just don't want to do this podcast. And then one of her videos I watched was like, she was literally talking about she had this near-death experience. She's like, I don't do anything I don't want to do anymore. And I was like, she's speaking to me, my own guest that I need to cancel on. And so I canceled.
So you coming flying with us, bro, or what?
Probably not, because I hate helicopters. Like, if I'm being honest, I told Brett, I'm like, don't put me down. And so I was like, I just don't love helicopters. They feel like I'm going to die on one day.
That's funny.
But I've just learned to like put the big things in, and then I don't negotiate them. And then I get really radically honest with myself. Like, I think so many of us do things just because we feel like we're supposed to do something.
Yeah.
And I don't. Like, that's
cool.
Podcast director, God bless him, but he's like, well, just do it and don't put it out. I'm like, why the hell would I waste her time and mine and not do it? You know what I mean? I just don't want to do the podcast. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I think that there's an element, there's certain things like, I don't want to do an ice bath, but I know I actually want to do the ice bath. That's a different energy.
Yeah.
I don't want to go run today, but I'm going to go run because I do want the benefits of running.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to, as you get older and you kind of have success, you just realize like, hey, these are the things that, I want to spend my time doing. I mean, you have this option now. You have this interesting position you're in where technically you probably don't have to ever work if you don't want to again. So you get to decide, all right, well, what truly fulfills me? What makes me happy? You talked about it a little bit with coaching.
Yeah.
You don't want to do one-on-one, so you're not going to do it. I'm the same way. I put my price on one-on-one coaching so high that and here's what I say to people, because people will get into coaching or consulting and they're like, how much do I charge? I said, charge enough so that you're happy if they say yes.
Yeah.
That's my best answer. It's like, if somebody says they want to work with you and you're like, oh shit, now I got to commit to this. You've not charged enough or you're not in the right profession or whatever. But so I always say like, I charge enough that if they say yes, I'm happy about it.
Cool.
Otherwise I see it on my calendar because I'm going to pour into a one-on-one call as much as I would to 50 guys on a call.
Yeah.
And it drains me. It's exhausting. I got to prep for it. I got to make sure I'm mentally ready for that call.
Yep.
And so if I can't do that, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. No, that's been great, man. The coaching, like what has been the most fulfilling side for you on the coaching, and how many years have you been doing it for?
Well, I've been coaching. I mean, I did a lot of real estate coaching and things like that, but my program now, we're going on about 3.5 years.
And what is it per month again for that?
The leadership program is $1,500 per month.
$1,500 per month.
Yeah.
And it's a once a week.
So they do a call once a week, and then we have an entire program online. You can go through at your pace, and then we have every week there's a couple local events that we're doing.
Cool.
Whether it's a poker game or a workout, body movement, stuff like that. So we have stuff always going on that way. And it's kind of like most guys show up maybe once a month to that kind of stuff. It's just at your own pace. And then there's other guys that they're like, I want to come to everything.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 big events a year. I do a conference in the winter where I brought in last year Ed Milet, Chris Williamson, Erwin McManus. It's just a big 2-day event. And then in the summer, I do this thing called Summerfest. So last year we did a demolition derby. This year we're doing our own rodeo where we're riding bulls and stuff. And then we just have we have an Olympics, so all the guys compete against each other. Super fun. And then just like a family night. But
is it a month-to-month thing, or is it like a year?
No, they sign up for a year and then they have a chance to renew for the second year.
Cool.
And so it's a 2-year program. And one of the things I love about my program too is it ends. Like one of my problems with therapy or some coaching is like it just never ends. And so like the coach isn't really motivated or incentivized to get you to a better spot, because the second you do, you're good.
So after year 1, what is is it like a 2-year program that you train?
2-year program, yeah. And then the big key to everything is once every 3 months they get together in person for 3 days.
Cool.
And so that's included with the program. So that's the event I was talking about in Phoenix. And we just did one this last weekend at this ranch here in Utah. And dude, it's so fun. Like we played capture the flag with ATVs. I had Jake Paul's trainer come in and teach us boxing. We did UFC fighting with a UFC guy. We had these military guys come in. My buddy was a commander in Iraq, Green Beret, over 4,000 troops. And he has this company where he does these team building exercises with NFL teams, and he does it for me because we're close friends. And he comes in and we torture the guys. We teach them how to shoot, and we did clay pigeons and all this other stuff. And it's just a really fun time. The guys really push themselves.
Cool.
And then we also bring in like breath work and, we talk with each other, masterminds and stuff like that. And so it's a very well-rounded program. but the guys all leave like just feeling connected. They feel like they have a tribe. They feel like they have a group that they can lean on. I actually got a text last night from one of the guys in a group. He's like, hey man, he put 3 of us on the text, all 3 members of the community. And he said, hey man, just want you guys to know my mom passed away tonight. I don't need anything tonight, but I just wanted you to know. And we were just able to hold space. And it's like, over the next week, we'll like be reaching out and connecting and talking. And so it's not this thing where it's like, the fact that he felt safe telling us, there was no expectation on his end, no expectation on our end, but we now get to hold space for him and do whatever we can to, help him through this hard time. And that's a daily thing. So you said, what's the best part? Like at this last event, we had a guy on day 2 get up and announce, admit that 2 months ago, he was ready to kill himself, and several dudes from the group showed up at his house, like knew that he was in trouble, broke his door open and came in. Yeah. And so like, that's where you say like, what makes this worth it? I mean, that's, I actually made quite a bit more money selling real estate. I was really good at it. But this is so much more rewarding in every other way, right? It's just so fulfilling. And so that's what I love about it.
Well, congrats on that, man, because I'm starting to understand like what it takes to run a group, because at first it's like everyone, like I have a lot of people reaching out like, hey, I want your, I need help. It's like, I want to help. But again, it's like, dude, I don't have time. If I lock myself down to helping people, like I won't have any time. And so I created this. And now that I'm going down the road, like I'm the kind of guy, like if I'm in, I'm in. And dude, it's a lot to hold these events and do stuff and like prepare the trainings and just because I want it to be premium. I want it to be the best.
I never want it. Yeah. I mean, I'm 60 hours a week since I launched the program probably. And then I work every other weekend hosting events, And so yeah, no, you're all in on it if you're going to do it. I mean, for me, it's like to do it right? Yep. And I've had a lot of guys join my group that were in other men's groups even, and they're like, bro, this thing's night and day. Like it's, And so it's cool, man. I commend you for going into that space because you kind of figure out, like once you've made money, you're like, okay, I know I can always make money. I have enough money to be comfortable. Like we can always want more money or whatever, but you do kind of figure out like, oh, I actually want to spend more time. That's why I said I like the blank space in my schedule now. I really enjoy, like one of the biggest luxuries in life is a slow morning. Yeah. Like I love those now, and just taking time in the afternoon. I went for a walk yesterday at 3:00 for an hour up the canyon, It's like, so those are the kinds of things where I'm at now. For you, like, are you still pushing more than, are you like, hey, I want to do the next business? Are you in that mode? Cause you're a younger guy still, but, or this is the time where you're going to pour more into family and kind of some of that stuff?
A lot of entrepreneurs talk about when they sell, like they get this like depression, and I maybe that's going to come, but I haven't had that at all. In fact, like I've never been happier, and it's not because of the money. It's just, I've found 3 years ago, I hired this coach who helped me understand like how to live a balanced life. And that's what comes from true happiness. Obviously, if you put all your eggs into, once I make money, I'll be happy. Like once you make that money, like nothing, like literally nothing changes.
Then you're more depressed because you can't even use the hope of having money to change your problems.
Well, that's what I mean, dude. Like I'm writing this book right now, and like he's asking all these questions about the day that we sold it. It's like I was talking to my wife, I'm like, hey, what else did we do that day? She's like, it was literally a normal day. Like we took Ivory to dance. Which is my little girl. We came home, we had dinner, and like we kind of cried a little bit that night thinking about Green Mango, and like we went to bed, and like that was it, and so what am I doing now? Like I don't want to start any other service companies right now and be involved in like how I was, because I kind of got that out of my system. Like we started 5 other service companies in 18 months, and like it was crazy. And so for me now, it's like learning the game of investing. You work your whole life to try and get all this money. And then once you get it, it's like, dude, what do I do with it? And I feel like an idiot because it's just, it's not my world.
Well, it's not taught anywhere. I had a big exit from a tech company a couple of years ago, and I squandered half of it just because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I thought I knew, but I did not know.
Well, that's what I mean. And so it's like, I'm doing what I did back then. I'm hanging around people that have had success in this arena, and just trying to learn from them. And so it's a lot of it's a lot of networking, which is it could be looked at as just all play, but like everything I do now is trying to hang out and be around other people that have walked a path that I want to walk in the investment world now. And and so a lot of investing, and I go to the gym at 8:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock, and it's like, dude, I'm from 7 to 8, I hang out with my kids, and for me the perfect balance is like 2 to 3 hours of work. And so what's great about this consulting stuff is I feel like it keeps me in the game. It makes me want to continue to read books, listen to podcasts, prepare for the trainings. And that's about 2 to 3 hours a day. And then like, I'm either going to fly the helicopter, I'm going to play golf, or, you know, and be with my kids. Like that's my day. And it's like the perfect balance for me, man. I love it. So that's my stage right now. You know, never say never. I'm sure I'll do something, but I won't be like a CEO of a company ever again. I have a carpet cleaning business, coconut cleaning, and that's probably my greatest opportunity to make like another huge exit. But I have people that run that, and I go in 1 day a week right now, and I just contribute where I can. And, you know, we're selling franchises, like that's going to blow up because it's just crazy. Like the model's so awesome. The branding's there and the money is there as well. And just organically in the past month, as I've talked about franchising on podcasts, like we have 13 people lined up to write us, you know, depending on the market size, $50,000 to $100,000 checks. And then they're like around 8 to 10% royalty fees just for like buying the coconut brand. And so like, I think we'll launch that, and that could be probably bigger than my Green Mango exit, which again would be cool. But like now it's just like, it's being around people, like good people, and being intentional, and, you know, just continue to level up.
Yeah. I think it's almost like I compare it when I was a kid. You're playing like the Nintendo and you pass a game. If you start playing that game again, you just kind of feel like I've done this, like, and you can keep doing it, but the satisfaction of it kind of is not the same. That's how I got with real estate. When I knew my whole goal was to always be number one. And I finally hit that, became the number one agent. I sold the most expensive home ever in Utah. Yeah. I just crushed that year. It was just like,
sick.
And it was like, oh, like I need to do something else now. Yeah. And that's what inspired me to start the company I'm doing now, you know, and eventually I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I've done that enough now. Time to do the next thing. But for me, that's how I kind of look at it too. It's like, I couldn't go back and do the same thing the same way. Yeah. If I went back into real estate full time, I've had a couple ideas. I'd have to do it differently in a way that would inspire me to just have that drive. Yeah. Otherwise you kind of feel like, I've kind of been here before. And for me, I don't know. It's even though you're printing money, sometimes it's like, it doesn't matter if you don't have the fulfillment side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And always having that goal to work towards. And that's where it becomes, it's like, it's more about the game that you're talking about than it is about the money. Like, you know, we landed in Provo today at Todd's hangar, and it's like, you walk into that hangar and you see his plane, and it's like, dude, that thing's freaking bad. Like a global 6500.
I'm grateful for a couple things in life. One is I'm not a car guy, and two is I like flying commercial. It saves me a lot of money. I love flying commercial, dude. I'm a weirdo. I like the experience of going to I hate small planes. They make me sick. I know, I'm a weirdo, dude. Well, I told you.
So Todd's plane is a commercial plane, man.
I understand. So trust me, like that's amazing, right? And what it does give you is the opportunity, like, hey, you want to go there and back today, or hey, you want to go hit this and this. Like the one problem with commercials, you do have to time things out a little bit more and everything. And obviously, especially you, like being a family guy, if you got the money, it's like, the time's the thing you're trying to save.
It's so sick. Casey flew down the other day. We were playing Scottsdale National, and it was like 3:30 or 4 o'clock. You know, we just got done with 18. And they have the bad little 9, and we're like, hey, we're gonna go play this, and he's like, I'm gonna go put my kids down to bed tonight, like I'm gonna take off. And it was like so funny because like we were still playing. When I was leaving the course, I still have like a 45-minute drive home. He texts us like, hey guys, just got home, like, great day, appreciate you, whatever. It's like, dude, this guy literally flew from Utah in and out, played golf, and was still able to get home to his family.
Yeah, no, and that's the one reason, like, it's like, okay, that obviously makes, like, he came, my group in Lake Powell 3 years ago, he flew down, spoke to my group, and was gone an hour later. I was back home in an hour 40. So
it's fun, man. It's good stuff.
That's cool. What I guess people listen to this, you're very inspiring. So many guys in the sales space, the door-to-door space, few of you have gotten to the point where you have. What advice or just do you have for the younger guy trying to get it?
I mean, I say it a lot, but it's like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That's like my number one favorite quote. And it goes along with what we've already talked about today. Like, I'm just a huge believer in controlling your thoughts. The voice inside your head controls pretty much the trajectory of your life. And so like, what voice are you saying inside yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that, whatever it might be, you need to control that. And that's where the daily mantras come into place. And then the belief system, hanging around the right people, being around people that are up to great things, and then making and keeping commitments. That's one of the most powerful things you can do as an individual, for not only for yourself, because your internal self is listening and paying attention to what you commit to. And if you say, hey, I'm going to go run a marathon, you don't go run a marathon, or you say, hey, I'm going to go build $100 million company, like, you just don't believe it. And so I was taught this at a very young age. My dad talked to me about time and the principle of being on time. It's just like, it's a simple thing. You're either on time or you're not. But if you make that commitment to always be on time, you'll start to build these blocks. I think of it as Legos, like just one after another, just stacking commitments, right? And so once you start to stack these commitments, that's why I laugh. And it's one of the first principles I talk to my 1% group is that, hey, I hate when people, it's New Year's Eve, everyone makes this huge year goal. And by 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in, it's like, they're done. And so I tell people, like, look, if you commit to something for a month for me, like, I love that. That's better than a year goal that you fizzle out on. But what's important is you need to start stacking these blocks. And the quickest way you can stack is just by being on time, because every day you need to be somewhere. And so just start with that and start stacking the wins. And then the fourth thing is living an intentional life, right? And it comes with weekly planning, understanding where you want to go. Because, if we walk out of this room, it's just like, I wonder what today's going to be, versus like making sure it happens. It's like, it's this trip. So I got invited up to be like, it's the most random thing and it's networking, but it's like, hey, we're filming a movie. We want your helicopter to be in it. Come up and fly. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm talking to Brett and he's like, hey, why don't you come on the podcast, and why don't you meet this guy? Why don't you meet that guy while you're up here? And it's like, all right, I'm building my personal brand. Like, might as well meet those people. I could have just flown up here, done the movie and had a great time and flew home. But it's like, my goal right now is to continue to build my personal brand. And Brett understands that. And so it's like, today has been very strategic with what we're doing and, who we're hanging out with. And we're flying and doing all the things that we love, but it's having a plan. And that's what's so cool. And that's what people don't understand about life is, and like you're saying, the weekly plan, like, live an intentional life, know where you want to go for better or worse, but like, you're going to end up somewhere. So you might as well like control it.
Yeah. The intentional thing is so important, because talented people are going to try to rob your time and attention. They just are. They're going to try to use you to help build their thing. And if you're not very intentional about what you're doing, you're going to fall for the trap of helping everybody else build what they're doing, right? It's cool that you're kind of understanding that. Brett's watched me. He's been with me for the last 7-8 years. And he's watched me as I built my podcast, for example. I'm almost 700 episodes in now. So, I've flown to another city probably 40 or 50 times to do a podcast.
Yeah.
You get the right person. You're like, I'll see you Tuesday. I remember, people are like, how'd you get Andy Frisell on? And I got introduced to him from a friend at the time. And I was like, I just hit him up on Instagram one day. We'd talked a few times, again, we'd met once, twice. And I just said, hey man, I'm going to be in St. Louis this weekend. Are you around to do a podcast Friday? He said, dude, let's do it. Come to my headquarters. I wasn't going to St. Louis that weekend, but I was after that. And so that's how I ended up doing that podcast.
But what's cool is like, last night I was talking to my buddy James, and it's like, dude, we're going on the Jimmy Rex show tomorrow. Who is he? Like, what does he do? Like, he's like, call Mike Fleming. And so we called Mike, and Mike had all these great things to say about you. And it's like, dude, now it's a cool friendship, because the people that I'm wanting to surround myself with are like-minded people. Like, you run a mentoring course that's super successful. Like, I'm going down that road. Like, I'm going to learn a ton from you. And so I don't know, it's just fun, man. When you start to be intentional about where you want to be and go, like, and it's not like for the wrong purposes. It's like, I want to meet cool people and they're doing what I want to do.
Yeah. No, man, it's pretty cool, dude, what you've done, and it's inspiring. And how old are you, by the way?
36.
Yeah, you're still young, bro.
How old are you, man?
I'm 43.
Oh, dang, you look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. God has a sense of humor, man. When I was in high school, I looked like I was 12. It didn't really help me out much, but you get a little older and it's like, it works. So it pays off. But
that's fun.
Well, dude, if people want to reach you, I know you're starting, again, you're building your brand, you're doing mentoring, all this stuff. Where's the best place for them to reach you?
Just my Instagram, C Bawden, which is my last name, Bawden. We're on there, and love to talk.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.